get people to recognize that Bitcoin is an asset class unto its own, and then there's this other thing going on, and you can be polite about it and just say, hey, there's some other stuff going on, or you could be, I'd say accurate about it and explain what's actually going on in crypto, as I often do. But either way, the conclusion and the headline is kind of the same. There's Bitcoin and there's everything else.
Sam Callahan of Swan Crypto sat down with Cory Klippsten, founder and CEO of Swan Bitcoin, to discuss what makes Bitcoin different from crypto and every other currency in the world. Let's hear why Bitcoin is here to stay. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like I was saying in the intro, the kind of theme of the year is Bitcoin, not crypto. And this is a message that we have been trying to, get out into the mainstream media for a long time. And it's starting to seem like the mainstream media is listening at least a little bit.
We decided early on, maybe even before the start of 2022, that was going to be kind of the message that we hammered home all year. Every media appearance, just trying to, get people to recognize that Bitcoin is an asset class unto its own. And then there's this other thing going on, and you can be polite about it and just say, hey, there's some other stuff going on, or you could be, I'd say accurate about it and explain what's actually going on in crypto, as I often do. But either way, the conclusion and the headline is kind of the same. There's Bitcoin and there's everything else. There's Bitcoin and there's shitcoin, there's Bitcoin, and then there's this thing that they brand crypto, Web3, DeFi, blockchain, underlying technology, whatever it is, McDLTs, like it's just some other thing. And boy, has the world proved us right for taking that approach all year long. I think you've just seen over and over again the risks exposed in the other side of the fence on the crypto side, and just frankly, just the billions that evaporated, the millions of lives that were impacted in tragic ways. And thank goodness a lot of people listened to the message of Bitcoiners and did not listen to the anti-Bitcoiner messages of some of the folks trying to monetize by being, ostensibly Bitcoiners while attacking Bitcoiners, and then sort of lining their pockets with blockchain VC or blockchain consulting or whatever. I think we've won the day handily, and that's a good thing. And to your point, this recent piece that I wrote, The Race to Avoid the War, really gets at the heart of this. And I think it's kind of a larger idea than the original mission statement of Swan, which was 10 million Bitcoiners, about the intransigent minority that we needed. And it really expands this and makes the mission that we're on global and sort of all encompassing, and explaining exactly why everything that you do around privacy or lightning or in Ghana or in El Salvador also matters to winning this race for Bitcoin adoption, so that we don't have to fight a war against the only entity that could actually really make things difficult for Bitcoin and Bitcoiners in the next few decades, which is U.S. government, underpinned obviously by the existing monetary system with the dollar and with treasuries. And so if we can win enough people over to our side, and if we can keep on doing all of the things that make Bitcoin run faster, then we have a better chance of avoiding that war and having like a dark period. But also it means that anything that makes Bitcoin look harder to attack, so anything you can do around privacy, fungibility, around just entrenching Bitcoin into the system around the world, makes Bitcoin look harder to attack, and makes the bar for a cabal of bad people that want to shut Bitcoin down, or shut down on-ramps or jail Bitcoiners or whatever it is that might take shape in a dystopian totalitarian future that has boots on necks of Bitcoiners. Makes it really, really hard for those people that would do something like that to imagine winning, and then they just won't try. Also involved in running fast is not being slowed down. And that's why I take special umbrage at people who would try to slow Bitcoin down by promoting false promises for crypto and DeFi, blockchain, whatever. And then also who would attack Bitcoiners in sneaky ways and basically just try to slow us down. Because I think this is the most important race that we humans are running right now. And it is existential for millions to billions of people around the world. And I really want to do everything in my power and use Swan and everything else that we're involved in, from the Bitcoin Opportunity Fund to Bitcoiner Ventures to Alzonte Capital to all our just friends and allegiances and events and conferences, and everything is just really trying to win this race for adoption. And we really can avoid a dark period for Bitcoin and Bitcoiners if we win this race. So yeah, that's really what it's about for me. Of course, if you figured out a way to create money, that then humans were going to try it a lot of times. and and then it would basically, you can be a little bit more sanguine about this, first couple of decades of, experimentation, and obviously tons of scamming. And, you know, of course you were going to have a battle. It's impossible not to. This experimentation was actually inevitable. And because it's so easy to create a new money, and obviously they're all crappy monies except for Bitcoin, of course people are going to try it. And of course scammers are going to be attracted to that because they have their own printing press for the first time. Like, you didn't even have to take over a whole country and then start printing your own money and screwing everybody else over. Like, you could just do it straight from your office on Sand Hill Road in Silicon Valley. It's kind of a hero's journey, and we're going to be on the long walk or in the hinterlands or whatever for, a long time going forward. And not being impatient about it, and just understanding that, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Like, you just got to come to grips with some of those things. Probably a good time to mention one of the other things that I've just tried to push out a lot this year, because I don't think I've done it on Swan Signal, is just this idea that, Bitcoin shouldn't follow a single technology adoption curve like an iPad or something like that. Like, it shouldn't be that super fast, 6 to 15 years kind of thing. It should look much more like a technological revolution. And a technological revolution is something that changes all industry verticals, basically. And just kind of is something foundational that changes everything. And I think that's what Bitcoin is, in the framework of Carlotta Perez, who wrote Technological Revolutions in Financial Capital 20 years ago. This should be the sixth major modern era technological revolution, after things like mass production, symbolized by the Model T rolling off the line in 1906, or the information revolution, symbolized by the first chip rolling off of an Intel fab in 1971. So I think that's what we're in. And these things take, 4 to 8 decades, and we have better money. We humans, 8 billion of us, have better money. We have real money for the first time. Everything else has been a pretty poor approximation of real money.